this is the summertime and we're thinking about projects because
Mhm.
one thing about falling for learning, we're going to talk about how to help your kids fall in love with learning, how to make sure they stay on track, but we also walk that talk. We're also about doing projects to help enhance our lives, help us to learn. Hi, thank you so much for joining the Falling for Learning podcast. I am T.D. Flenaugh. We have this podcast to help parents and caregivers with having the resources, strategies, and tools needed to make sure that their children are on track for learning and to stay on track for success. Thank
My
you.
dog is scratching up my pants. I'm sorry. I'm a little distracted. I have like a hole in my.
We're going to keep it all in the podcast. Everybody
That's
should know.
fine.
She has a dog that is scratching her up. And this is what this podcast is all about. Navigating the ups and downs. If it's your dog, if it's your kid, if it's your job,
Yes.
like we're navigating that. We're
It's
going to
my
show
favorite.
you what to do. Tell us
This
what
is
you're
my
doing.
favorite.
Tell us how you're processing this.
Man, because this is my favorite one and done outfit. Is my favorite one, and now I have a little hole in it where my dog's caused and caught in there. That's okay. It's
Is the
okay.
dog going to have consequences or you don't
She's
give
gonna
this
have
dog?
she's gonna have consequences for sure. For sure.
Okay. Can you tell
Yeah.
us what those are or not on camera?
I don't want anybody to call the Humane Society on me right now. I would put her out, but then she would just be scratching on the door and whining and loud. So
So more damage on the door. Okay.
yeah, we'll be fine.
All
It's
right.
just giving me an excuse to go shopping. It's fine.
Oh, I love that. I love that bright side, right?
Yeah.
Shopping time. Speaking of shopping, this is the summertime and we're thinking about projects because
Mhm.
one thing about falling for learning, we're going to talk about how to help your kids fall in love with learning, how to make sure they stay on track, but we also walk that talk. We're also about doing projects to help enhance our lives, help us to learn, right? And one of the things, we're both educators. How do we renew ourselves, right? Because a lot's happening and
Yeah.
it's easy to get overwhelmed and to get burned out and all the things. So
Mhm.
projects today, you do not want to miss this episode because we're going to be talking about how to get your kid going with all the projects, fun learning integrated into your regular everyday lives.
Mm.
Okay, so Lauren, we're going to start with you. We know that your dog has just scratched up your clothing. And
Yes. So I'm gonna learn how to sew. I'm gonna go get some fabric. I'm gonna go get some patterns off of Etsy, and I'm gonna teach myself
ooh,
to
really?
make an outfit. No, probably not.
Okay,
But
okay. What are you actually going to do?
but I do think about things that I've put off throughout the
Mhm.
year because I'm teaching and I just come home and I'm like, I want to have some downtime. But I always have like these creative projects that I would like to get them, do. I would like to learn how to sew and make clothes and things like that. I actually was talking to my mother about that when she was in school. They made all of their dresses before they went out on a Friday night. They would buy the material throughout the week and they would work on it so that by Friday after class, they would have a brand new dress to wear to the
I love.
sock hop or wherever they were going.
Oh my gosh, that is so nice. But it's so similar, right? Because people will shop all week for for something. But that's I love that. I love that.
So I do have
Projects.
a project that I do want to share with you that I've been
Okay.
working on. So I have a relationship with one of my dad's old friends who kept his horse on our property for many, many years. And as he's gotten older, it's just been increasingly harder for him to care for this horse. So we've been talking back and forth all year about her name is Ellie Mae, about Ellie Mae's care. And he just recently said, hey, I think, you take care of dogs, you train dogs, you rescue dogs. I think you could work a miracle with this horse. I know nothing about horses. So part of my learning has been really going down this rabbit hole of, you know, how to care for a horse, and not only care for a horse, but what are the, not just about the diet, but how do you know if a horse is healthy? Um, Looking at the structure that the horse is living in, like, is this an adequate structure? If there's something that this horse needs in order to have its food and its water, and do I put out all the food at one time? Like, all the different things about horses that I have to learn now. And it's actually been really fun, because it's forcing me to go outside. I'm outside more, I'm enjoying the sun. So this has become my summer project. And I've been working with contractors, looking at the barn, learning a lot about just kind of, a little bit of engineering going on, because we have some places in the barn that get a little flooded when it rains, and about, the way that the yard is sloping, and what we can do to kind of offset the water, kind of redirecting the water into other places by digging like little trenches, like all of these things that I'm learning. Meeting a lot of people who actually have horses and who have stables, and hearing their stories about how they came to be owners of horses, because it's not something that you just should do casually. Very expensive hobby. But I am also looking at perhaps creating a horse stall rental situation, where people who need a place to store their horse for the day. We have lots of rodeos and things of that nature here in Texas. So a lot of people have horses and might have a need for a place to store a horse during the day while they're doing other things. So, playing around with a lot of little business ideas, thinking about a summer program for kids, maybe teaching kids how to ride. I would not be doing that, but I'm hosting it. Maybe even working with some high schools, working with their FFA, their Future Farmers of America programs. Um, yeah, just lots of things, and it's exciting, it's invigorating, it's something new, it's challenging. Like I said, it's keeping me outside, and yeah, so that's my project that I'm working on.
I am going out of town tomorrow. I am going to do a week long poetry professional development with the fellowship with the
Yeah.
Poetry Foundation. So I'm excited. I heard about it in March when I was at a conference, and I applied right then. I was like, I want to do this week long poetry thing. I mean, I have to get my own accommodations and flight and everything, but I wanted to be there. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
because
And tell us where it's going to be.
it's going to be in Chicago,
Mm.
Chicago.
And
So I'll be
specifically where in Chicago?
well, I have well, no, no, no. I think you're getting my other I have another event in
Oh,
Chicago the
never mind.
following week. So
That's
I
right.
have the
Never
Obama
mind.
Presidential Center event coming up. We're still taking donations, so the link will be in the show notes for that. So yeah, excited. So there's so many projects that we have going on, but I am going to be a learner in the Poetry Foundation fellowship for the next week. I think by the time this airs, maybe I already have finished that week, but I will definitely come back and give you guys some updates and
Cannot wait.
some
I'm
learnings.
here.
Yes, I'm going to put the link in the show notes if you could apply. I had to keep it on hush so no one else could apply with me this year. No, just playing.
Gatekeeping.
So yeah, I mean, the one thing about projects is what I really stress for teachers and parents, right? It's hard for us to think, but be selfish sometimes, right? Like,
Yeah.
what do you want to do? I
Yeah.
know a lot of times professional development becomes a dirty word because a lot of things are called professional development. Like, we may have this hour after school or something, and it's like a mandated, you better get this done. You have until this date to get it done, and it is not something that we're interested in. It's not something that we want to do. And a lot of times we have all these other things. I have grades due, I have this due, I have a parent I have to call back, I have all these things I have to do, but I have to do this thing. And so professional development becomes a really dirty word. And I always say, do some self-selected professional development, do some professional development that is just selfish. This is what I'm interested in doing. This is
Right.
something I have a curiosity about. No one's making me do it. And I know that some people are like, well, now that I'm out of school, I'm just going to do, just travel and just do things. And that's fine. I'm all for that. Like, just do things, maybe not connect it with your schooling, your work, at all. But as you're thinking about your development and you self reflect, and if you feel like you need some more things, do something that is very selfish, that's going to be just fun, that's going to be some playful for you. Um, and I'm going to be developing myself as a poet, and I'm going to be also picking up lessons that I could teach my students. And my journey as a writer has definitely enhanced my writing teaching, my writing instruction, right? So just, be selfish. Be
And also,
selfish.
along with that, like I'm doing a project that really has nothing to do with the classroom.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a project that I had planned, but I have developed this like interest and like I really want to know like how am I going to build this structure and about horses and animals and what they eat and like I'm just really going down a rabbit hole. But I think just the fact that it's bringing me so much joy and it's
Yeah.
been so much fun and I spend quality time outside, like moving my body and in the fresh air and smelling the hay, things that I'm not used to doing. I'm like shoveling manure. I never shoveled manure before in my life, but I am enjoying it. And looking at all
Okay.
these videos about what you can do with manure and how it's great fertilizer, you can make a compost. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting on a little gold mine of fertilizer right here. But I just think the fact that I'm gonna enjoy the summer and have learned something, my brain is going to grow. Like I'll tell my kids, when you learn something new, your brain grows. My brain is going to be humongous when I go back to the classroom, and that's going to be good for my kids because
Yes.
I will be in a place of having enjoyed my summer, having learned something. I am excited about learning. So I just think the enthusiasm of going back into the classroom to do, what we are called to do, and it's a passion, but it's also very hard work and it can be very draining.
Yes.
My cup is filled up, so I have actually something to pour from when school starts. And hey, we do have an animal unit, so I might be bringing in
Yes.
my slides and my horse. You never know.
Bringing your horse in the classroom. I hear what
There
you're
you go.
saying.
There you
Show
go.
and tell, making room for the horse in
Right?
the classroom.
I might do. I mean, I had a cowboy theme last year. Maybe I might expand it to the ranch or something like that.
Oh, okay. Have you ever watched this Netflix documentary called High on the Horse?
No. Do I need to
Check
write
it
that down?
out.
High on.
Yes, it talks about the history of cowboys.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, one thing about it, so this is what blew my mind because they were like, cowboys were always black.
yeah.
Because they said nobody was called a boy. No man was called a boy except for black
Mm,
men. So they
mm,
said, so cowboys were always black.
mm.
But of course, Hollywood turned them into white people. But so take a look at that documentary. Again, I'll put that in the show notes. High on the Horse, Netflix. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It's a nice. It's so like so eye opening. Like so much stuff that we didn't know about, and
Mhm.
again that selfish stuff because teaching is life, right? Teaching involves so much of life. Where even though it might be selfish, I often find the things that I need that I went out and searched for or had an adventure with is something that I could have something remains that I could like take back to the classroom, offer to
Right.
my students.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, it gave me a break. And so that I am able to be more objective and I'm able to be more objective. I'm able to be more patient, right? Sometimes we find ourselves snapping at our kids, like not being as patient, getting more stressed out. And it's
Yeah.
because we need a break.
We're
And it's
tired.
not because our kids are being worse than they were before.
Right.
It's just that you do not have a break. The kid is doing the things that they always
Do.
do,
This
right?
is what
So
they do. This is what
parents,
first graders do. They
yes,
yell and get out of their seat and they talk and they spill stuff.
yes,
This is what first graders do. Yes.
yes,
Oh my.
can clear our heads, our minds. We could get a new valve of patience, right?
You're
When
gonna
people are
come
like, I'm
back
up to
and
here,
just
clear that out with a break and be ready for patience. again, have a new reservoir of patience for our kids. The Rewrite Method and the Rewrite Method Workbook are your go-to resource for helping kids to learn to fall in love with writing. It has the tips, tools, resources, strategies, and skill-building activities to help kids fall out of writing hate and into loving to write. Get your book set today. We need to make clear the air with a break. And being selfish is so important. There's so many times we cannot be. Oh, wait, are you rewarding bad behavior? Is this the dog that
You know
scratched you
what? Yes,
up?
I am. I
Okay.
just did the thing I said I wasn't going to do. I was like, I'm not going to pick you up, but she's making a
Parents and
whole.
educators, do not reward bad behavior. This is what Lauren's doing.
But she's so cute. It wasn't bad behavior. She just wanted her mommy. She was just like,
Okay,
"Mommy,
not
please pick
bad
me up."
behavior. Okay.
It was this needy behavior.
Needy behavior. No problem. I mean, I'm not here to judge. I'm here to listen, but I'm not going to judge. I'm
She
here to
was
listen.
feeling neglected. My child was neglected.
All right. So, you're doing the horses. Oh, you know what other thing I'm working on? Okay, let me tell you guys. I was in the writing project. I am still part of the writing project, but one of the things we talk about, like we used to do this Writers Anonymous, where we would meet once a month, and then we would start with it, like Writers Anonymous, Alcoholic Anonymous, whatever. We'd be like, "My name is Taisha, and I'm a writer," and then we would share our work. We never apologized for our work. We just read it because, of course, writing, sometimes it's going to be crap. It's going to be a rough draft. It's just going to be stream of consciousness, like what's taking up my mind right now.
Mm-hmm.
With that, when we're thinking about writing, that writing is art, right? Writing is an expression of ourselves. And so as a artist, right, as a writer, as an artist, I have been using this, the artist way. This is by Julia Cameron, and it really is about renewing yourself as an artist.
Mm.
And it's a method for, untapping, unlocking all of these creative things that we have going on. As parents and educators, I do really want to say that it is very important. And I have a salary point class that I'm going to be offering coming up that's based on unlocking your creativity and using that as a new reservoir for healing yourself. Right, we have a lot of things that we have to get through. I recently had some deaths in my family. I don't even want to talk about them. But um it's a way of us embracing the things that we need, renewing ourselves, leaning into ourselves as artists and creative people, so that we can fulfill our teaching career, fulfill whatever it is that we are supposed to be doing in this world, which, as I have people that I love and care about and family members pass away, it reminds me we don't have forever, right? Um, and doing what a lot of times we have these creative works, like my book, the book I had, my novel that I released earlier this year, Little Mobile Home on the Tundra. It was like a soul project, like a creative project that I had kept putting off for years, and finally decided to get it finished after, one of my family members passed away suddenly from an aneurysm. And I just am now just more embracing this idea of myself being a creative person and putting my creative projects first, not putting them aside. And in centering those creative projects, I am also renewing myself. I am also healing myself and making myself more of a full, complete, developed person so that I can pour into other people. Because we always, as parents, as educators, are always pouring into others. And so we need to be really sensitive about that for ourselves. and nurture that creative side of ourselves so that we can do the things that we want to do and pour into others and the people we love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like you said earlier, how important that is for us to do that work so that when we're engaging with our students and parents, this goes for, families as well, we can model for our kids that having projects and having interest and having things that inspire us and being creative is a part of the human experience.
Yes.
You
Oh my
know,
goodness.
that
Yes.
is what makes us different from any other species on the planet, is that there's a part of us that is, we're built for creation. So all of the things that I'm doing this summer, that some of it has to do with, very little this summer has to do with actual classroom, my classroom endeavors. It's mostly, hey, I just needed to do something that felt good to me. And I am gaining so many other kind of interests that I didn't even know that I had. I had a little interest in gardening, but it's even, more so now that I'm looking at all of these different ways that I can utilize this horse manure. But I'm thinking about my goddaughter, and she's off for the summer, and she's big into dance, and she loves to dance.
Yes.
And I'm just thinking about, like, wow, that's a very physical thing. I wonder if she would get into horseback riding. I wonder if that's
Mm,
something that I could engage her in and be like, ooh, Seiji, let's try something different this summer. Because I'm learning about, that's what I'm learning about. So I want to share that with her and see what interest that might spark in her.
yeah.
Uh, and who knows? I've been looking at so many women that own horses, because I'm looking at, women horse owners, communities of horse owners. And I'm thinking, like, I need to find women like myself that have horses, and they're out there. And I don't know if I have too many little kids in my class, any girls especially, who ever thought of themselves as growing up and, you know, having a ranch or being a cowgirl or, having large animals, to take care of. But it's inspiring to see that because of this little project that I took on, that I was blessed with, that so many different things are pouring out of me that I feel like are going to be useful to my students, to my, my little family. I even had my cousin out here a couple of weeks ago, trying to recruit him to help me haul some stuff out of our shed. And yeah, he didn't like it, but he didn't come back. So that's not his thing. But just even to have my family, come over, and they're like, Lauren, what are you doing with the horse back there? And I'm like, well, let me show you. So it's just been fun, and it is creating this space in my brain for, like, oh, what else is possible? I never thought I would be doing this, but what else is possible? And that's what
Yeah.
I want my kids. That's what I want for my students. I want them to
Yes.
be kids that think big. Like, what else
Yes.
could I be doing? You know,
Ooh.
reading books takes you to so many different places. What could I be? Where could I go if I could just pick up a book and read it fluently? Things like that inspire me, because that's what I got to do. I'm reading all kind of things that I never thought I'd be reading about right now, just to get my mind prepared, and also getting on a really good. I mean, I'm on summer break, so I can get up when I want to and go out there and do horse duties or whatever. But when school starts, man, that's going to be a whole nother story. That's going to be,
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought this up because that's one of the things that we have to keep thinking about is what really brings forth the full development of our children. When we're talking about getting them on track for success, presenting to them all the different ways in which they can grow and develop, and opening them up for possibilities that they would not usually have. Anyways, guys, the benefits of horses and how it might relate to your child out there.
So I think I have been, on my algorithm, lots of things are coming up with horses in terms of them being therapeutic for students or kids who have autism, or just as a way to help kids with rehab, whether it's through trauma. Like, there are a lot of therapy horses where horseback riding is a form of therapy. And I
Mm.
never knew that. So it's even given me that perspective of like, wow, this horse could be more than just, something that eats all day and that I have to clean up after. That there might be some other educational practical uses for having a horse. I've never had a horse before, but it's opening up my imagination, and my algorithm is feeding me all of these ideas and all these things. The good part, this is the good thing about what the internet is gift us with, is just being able to connect to so many other people that are doing things that might be similar to where I am right now in this journey, or people who are ahead of me that I'm learning from.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm excited more than anything. I just like, oh, I'm like, I can't wait to get back out there and see what my horses do. I
Yeah.
am worried about what's going to happen when school starts, because when school starts, that's a whole different kind of tired. So I'm
Yeah,
hoping
it's very true.
by then I will have a little bit more support and help, and maybe I can make it a salary point class for teachers. They come out, they learn something about, yes, with
That
the
would be
animated.
so amazing.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. And you know what? I have coaches that help me with my podcast, my books, and everything. And they tell me that, like when we have these creative projects that we do not do, uh, someone out there it needs it. Someone out there, is something that they would really benefit from. And
Mm,
it's also kind of selfish for us to not to do it, right? Because we are preventing someone else from having the breakthrough that they need or the support that they need because we've decided not to do this thing that we were given. We were given the idea. We were given this gift and we're not sharing it the way we should be. And really, it's a little bit of selfishness. So the selfish could come in different ways, right? Really lean into yourself as a creative. And again, it could be something that opens up a whole new world or career for your child um, or you,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And just think in terms of who might need it. Because, like I said, the things that I need that I'm out there exploring or being, really expressing myself, growing through, healing through is something that often I find my students need, right? But also, there could be other people out in the world that need it too, besides your kids. Maybe someone else's child needs it. Maybe another teacher needs it. Maybe another homeschool parent needs it. So, again, it'll help you feel more fulfilled overall. Of course, you're going to be fulfilling it because you're not ignoring yourself. We really talked about being true to yourself, trusting your instincts, following those things in a creative journey, right? Obviously, if there's caution, we're not ignoring those inside dialogue about what might be unsafe, even though we may not figure out why it's feeling unsafe. But just really just listening to that. The same thing with our creative voices. Like I've been given this project that I need to, I need to finish this book. I need to, whatever it is in your mind, and you're ignoring it. It's something that's going to be for you and not just yourself, but the world as well.
Yeah. Very well said. Very well said.
Well, I really enjoy that you talking with you today, Ms. Moseley, and thank you those of you out there who've tuned in to the Falling for Learning podcast. We're in season 4. We're living, we're growing, we're learning, and do something today that's going to give your child the competitive advantage. Thank you so much. Thanks again for supporting the Falling for Learning podcast. New episodes go live every Saturday at 5 p.m. You can watch us on youtube.com at Falling for Learning or listen on all major podcast platforms such as Apple, Google, Audible, Spotify, and much more. For more resources, visit fallinginlovewithlearning.com. We really appreciate you. Have a wonderful week.